So in January of 1980, we sold the first Remax region in Canada, and that startup phase of what's a Remax started all over again in Canada. Paul Hannan took a chance on this new organization in 1984, and I'll tell you what, I don't think he's looked back since. Watch.
In the 1980s, Remax was unknown in Canada. They were a startup. There was, a handful of offices and a few hundred agents that were working, so nobody knew who they were in Canada. When I joined them in 1984, the company had reached about 900 agents, but I knew that there was something there. I could sense there was something there, that it was growing, it was vibrant, it was electric. It was a tough go in the early days, there's no question about that, because people would call the name they recognized, the name they saw on the signs all around the neighborhood. We often got called in, they think they would call us in for a second opinion, and then they'd be totally blown away by what they saw when we came in the door. But Remax helped us. They guided us with a lot of material to go through the door and come off looking very professional. You add to that a little bit of experience, a lot of youth, a lot of energy, and people really liked it. So within 3 years, that company grew to become the #1 organization in all of Canada. It was just a tremendous growth spurt. An outrageous amount of activity happened in the company in that time. And the way they did that was by basically pulling away the top producers. In essence, Remax drained all of the other companies of their top people. And from there, they built offices and offices and offices of top producing agents, and our market share just skyrocketed. And it was at that point when the streets were virtually littered with Remax sold signs. And the group of people that were at Remax in Canada were very dynamic people, and everybody mingled and intermingled and got to know each other well. So we had things like baseball teams, hockey teams, bowling leagues, all kinds of stuff were going on at that time, and everybody was enjoying everybody's company. It was an amazing time to be part of that organization. And we have a lot of time ahead of us in this company. I really think that Remax has everything in place to stay in the #1 position.
Paul, you haven't changed a bit.
I don't know about that.
Not a bit. Okay, so Paul, you joined in 1984. You were 24 years old, and you had already worked at another real estate company. So what brought you over to Remax? What brought you and what kept you?
Well, it was really interesting. I'd been in the business for a year with a conventional company on a 50-50 split, and I kept doing deals with Remax agents, and they were making twice as much as I was on every transaction we did. It was like, you've got to be kidding me. Something's wrong with this. I quickly outgrew that company. I started to become the top agent in the office, about the 6th or 7th month I was in the business, and I'm thinking, wow, something's wrong here. And I looked at Remax. It was full of a lot of younger people, and I thought, this is where I need to go. These people are going to understand technology and how we can move things forward.
So as just quickly, as Remax was new in Canada, how did you have to explain what's a Remax?
Oh, that was tough. It really was. We were walking in the door. We didn't have the strength I'd had when I was with the other company because they were the #1 organization at that time. But it was a grind that we just kept working through, and people were starting to see the signs in the neighborhoods. And when they saw that, they started to take us a little more seriously.
That's awesome. And now look.
Yeah, look, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's history there. Wonderful. Paul, thank you. Give a round of Paul. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right.